We're at the halfway point of three-man front on this Tuesday. Great crowd, as always, up here on the Taco Terrace. Almost a full house. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Molly has already devoured the chicken feathers that Landrum and I had ordered about 20 minutes ago, so I guess we're going to have to order some more.
Yep.
They were good, though, right?
I've got some MREs in my backpack.
I got some crackers.
Saltines? You just want to split a saltine? Those chicken feathers are great.
No. Let me correct my statement. Landrum and I tore them up, and I think Molly's had one. You've had one, right? Mm-hmm. They're very good.
They are. One of them, I thought I needed a fork and knife. It was not a feather. It was a whole wing. It was a whole side of the bird. Yeah, they're delicious.
All right, so we were talking about the most overrated, according to Brett McMurphy, of the poll era over the last 10 years, and he gives a little bit of an explanation. He says Auburn hasn't been ranked in the preseason poll since 2020. The last 3 times Auburn has been ranked among the top 11 teams in the preseason poll, which was 15, 18, and 20. The Tigers finished the season unranked.
Okay.
Says the 3 most overrated programs, USC, Auburn, and Texas A&M, along with Florida State and Oklahoma, are the only programs that have begun in the top 10 only to finish unranked in 2 different seasons. So I guess that's why it's weighted, I suppose, is because of that reason.
Yeah, so you get more points to be, in this case you don't want more points, but you get more points if you're really highly projected, just the difference there, the chasm in between where you're projected to be and then ultimately where you finish.
So USC, Auburn, Texas A&M, LSU, Wisconsin, those are the top 5 teams in the last 10 years that have been overrated by the pollsters. What about the most underrated teams? Have you seen that list, Molly?
Underrated's got to be Missouri.
Okay, you go Missouri. How about you, Molly?
I'll go, as much as it pains me.
Don't say Iowa.
No. I was going to go like an Oregon.
Okay. Conrad.
So we're doing most underrated teams in the AP poll for the last 10 years?
Yep, since 2014.
Ooh, most underrated?
You said Mizzou. You said Oregon.
I'll go with, I don't know, Oklahoma State.
Oklahoma State.
I'll go with, I'm just going to keep, Baylor.
Baylor is not. Now, Mizzou was 15. Oregon was not listed in the
what about TCU?
TCU is 4th.
Okay.
What about UCF?
12th.
What about
You guys are naming some good ones.
like a BYU?
BYU is number 1.
Really?
They're the most underrated team in the last 10 years, according to the polls. Coming in at number 2 was Northwestern. Boise State was 3rd, TCU 4th. Iowa was 5th. Indiana 6th, Cincinnati 7, Mississippi State 8, Arizona State 9, SMU 10. Ole Miss was 23rd.
Okay.
That's about it for the SEC teams. Because most of the SEC teams will be overrated most of the time as opposed to underrated. So that's a very interesting list.
Who else is on that list? Okay, Oklahoma State, that was going to be one of my guesses.
They're 17.
Yeah. Interesting. So Kentucky coming in at 13. Yeah. I mean, none of those schools that are on this list look like they're out of place.
It's interesting that Army-Navy was both tied for 21st.
Yeah.
The service academies. Interesting.
Okay. So based on okay.
I would think BYU.
I'm trying to remember some of these team seasons. So Northwestern, I remember winning the West, playing for championships in the Big Ten.
Yeah, they played for a Big Ten title.
When I was
they
in
played
college.
for 2, didn't they?
They played for 2.
Yeah.
Knowing good and well they were not going to win. You remember the year that they went 8-4 in the regular season, lost their non-conference games, and ended up in the Big Ten championship game.
So you were at Nebraska when that happened?
Well, they played
Pretty
Ohio
sure.
State in the COVID year, and
Yeah.
it was an ugly game. They almost beat them, from what I remember.
No Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota.
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
not listed. But also notice that Auburn has the best college football playoff odds of any unranked team and better odds than 9 teams that's listed in the top 25 poll. So that's a good value. I mean, Auburn is 60-1 to make the college football playoff, which is 16th best odds of any college football team. And they're not even a ranked team.
Yeah.
That's really good
If I
value.
remember from yesterday, they got better odds than Florida.
Yep, they do.
Who are the other schools out of the SEC?
I'm guessing they have better odds than South Carolina right now, because South Carolina I think they were in that same boat.
Let's see. So Bama has the 6th best odds, and they're ranked 8th in the preseason. LSU's got the 8th best playoff odds, but they're ranked 9th. South Carolina is tied for the 17th best odds to make the college football playoff. So Auburn's got better than South Carolina. What was the other one you just mentioned? Florida?
Florida, yeah.
I was about to say Florida and Auburn.
Florida they have better odds than Auburn.
Yeah, what I'm
They're-
seeing right here is Auburn's right ahead of Oklahoma, South Carolina, and Tennessee.
Yeah, Florida is 33-1, that's 11th best odds to make the college football playoff.
And that's according to
That's according to betonline.ag.
okay.
As of this moment, Oklahoma has better odds than Auburn. They're 40-1.
Yeah, let's just wait for that news cycle.
Ole Miss has better odds
John Mateer.
than Auburn. They're 50-1.
Where's A&M?
They're probably like 2-1 odds, Landrum.
They're
I know.
tied for 11th. They're 33-1.
Of course they are.
So one of the big stories yesterday that we were talking about was the potential of Ty Simpson, and that became official. And now, Molly, with Ryan Grubb speaking to the media, he has made it official.
Yeah, he just confirmed Ty Simpson will be Alabama's starting quarterback, and he says there's been no decision made about number 2 yet.
Okay.
Every Alabama fan's favorite player on the roster, QB2, baby.
Very much so.
Roll number 2.
So speaking of odds, I just saw this too, that they just released moments ago. How many losses will the national championship team end up with?
1.
2.
I think 2.
1 is not even on the board.
Okay. That's why I'm going with 1.
Good
2 to
value.
3 2 to 3 losses have the best odds at minus 140. I'm sorry. Yeah, one. I'm sorry. Let me rephrase that. One loss has the best odds.
Okay.
Sorry. Undefeated has the second best odds, and 2 losses have the third best odds. I don't know, man. Just a team going all the way in this college football playoff era.
I think
I don't-
undefeated, any conference that you play in, whatever your schedule is going to be, it's just really, really tough. It's always been tough, but I think it's added tough this year.
Wait, so there's better odds that
Lack
someone
of
goes
depth.
undefeated than has 1 loss?
No, than losing 2 games.
Oh, okay.
Yes. If you losing 1, it is minus 140 on the money line. For a team to go undefeated, it's plus 175. And if you lose 2 games, it's plus 250. So what Vegas is saying that the best chance is a team with 1 loss winning the national championship.
Okay. So as far as a 2-loss team, we can see Texas losing to Ohio State, or flipping that and saying Ohio State loses to Texas in that opening game. Ohio State loses to Michigan again. Texas loses to Georgia again. And then they run the table the rest of the way. You got your 2-loss champion.
Okay, so in regards to the best chances of a school to go undefeated for this upcoming season and obviously win the national championship, there are two schools that have the best odds. They're tied at 4-1 odds of that happening. Would you like to take a guess who those two schools are?
Are they from?
But one of them is going to be Notre Dame.
Penn State.
Molly says Penn State. Do you have another guess?
I'll go Texas.
Okay.
I'll go Oregon.
Do you go Penn State along with Molly on that?
Yeah, I think Penn State.
Okay. Conrad?
I'll go Notre Dame and Texas instead
Notre
of
Dame's a
number
good
one
one.
team.
Mm-hmm.
As of this moment, the two teams that Vegas favors the most to go undefeated, Notre Dame and Ohio State.
Wow.
Oregon then has the next best odds along with Penn State, then Texas. And how about this? Alabama, Clemson, and Georgia all have the next best odds at plus 550.
Hey, there's another feather in the SEC's cap. Why do you think the Big Ten's up there? Got an easier schedule for those teams.
That's right.
Isn't that something? Well, one thing's for sure, the recruiting world is seeing an uptick for the Auburn Tigers. How much do we anticipate over the next couple weeks? Well, we'll ask On3 and Rivals Steve Wiltfong what's next up for the Auburn Tigers, and can Alabama hold on to a top 5 recruiting class? All that next on 3-Man Front. It is 12:15. Welcome back. This is 3-Man Front. We're live at Social Taco. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. And Landrum, the menu, they had added a couple items about 2 months ago, and they have been a huge success over the summertime months.
Yeah, they've got the Mexican pizzas. That's what we call them. They call them something else that I cannot pronounce, but it's the official name. But it's, think about Mexican pizza, but just kicked up a notch with the buffalo chicken pizza. But if you're thinking buffalo chicken, it's delicious. But if you're not crazy about buffalo chicken, it's really not the buffalo chicken that you're thinking about. Also, the guacamole, you can add the bacon, all kinds of different sandwiches. If you're feeling like a sandwich, you're not really feeling like Mexican food. Social Taco, and don't forget about brunch on the weekends. 10 to 2:30 on Saturdays, 10 to 2:30 on Sundays, the bottomless tapas brunch. It is to die for. It's socialtaco.bar. Check out the menu. Availability. They're at your leisure.
Well, one thing's for sure, Auburn fans feeling much better over the course of the last few weeks in regards to where their recruiting rankings currently stand. They were in the 70s just a few weeks ago. A big-time commitment late last week. They now have, according to On3 and Rivals, the Auburn Tigers now find themselves in the top 40 at number 37. And more good news could be on the horizon for the Auburn Tigers. And joining us now from On3 and Rivals, Steve Wiltfong joins us here on 3-Man Front. Steve, I hope you're doing well on this Tuesday.
Guys, doing well, just trying to keep up with everything. But fall camp is upon us. The season is around the corner. And that's really where Auburn is going to make its hay on the recruiting trail in 2026 and beyond. You know, the first couple of cycles, Hugh Freeze and his staff were able to go out and pull in top 10 recruiting classes. But the time is now to go out there and win and show the recruits what this program is capable of. You know, Hugh Freeze and company, when they went on the trail the last 2 cycles, pointed to their resumes, their outstanding resumes. This is what we're going to build at Auburn. We've won everywhere we've been, but now kids want to see it. That's why it's been a little slower for Auburn on the trail this cycle. But if Auburn can come out and have a season like Florida did, finish strong, do better, and I know the aspirations are better, and they should be higher with the way they recruited, the way they've gone in the transfer portal. We're going to see Auburn be able to really come back around in November, come back on some recruits that they didn't win the first time around, and maybe pull into a top 10 class like Florida did. But the job will be done on the field this year. High expectations there should be as Auburn tries to compete for a college football playoff spot.
Steve, we got to start with Jace Matthews from the state of Mississippi. I think number 2 overall in the country at wide receiver. Describe for listeners not seen Jace Matthews play what Auburn and Hugh Freeze appear to be getting.
Well, they got a guy that can create separation, a guy that can make plays with the football after the catch, and a guy that can win one-on-one balls in traffic, one of the top wide receivers in the country. The way Auburn has recruited the wide receiver position, what they've been able to do in the transfer portal, there is a standard in that room. Jace Matthews certainly, meets that. He's someone that'll be able to come in and push whoever is on the roster that's older than him. And then certainly there'll be some opportunity for him to compete right away because of what Auburn could lose following the season.
Steve, in regards to what may potentially be in the pipeline for Auburn over the course of the next few weeks, and I know you just mentioned the proof will be in the pudding for a lot of folks in regards to Auburn going out and getting the wins, but in regards to what may be on the ultimate horizon here over the next couple weeks or the next month or so, do you see anything or anyone that Auburn fans should keep their eyes on?
Well, obviously, the number one safety in the country, Braylon Womack out of Hartsfield Academy in the state of Mississippi. He's going to commit before month's end, and Auburn is one of the front runners. Florida is the program that I think they're really battling with. Ohio State and Texas A&M rounding out the top four, but Auburn surged in this recruitment with a great summer official visit. His sister plays softball for the Auburn Tigers. The chance for them to go to the same school is it makes this opportunity extra enticing. I think Auburn has done a good job on the NIL front with Braylon Womack. But Florida is charging hard. He's still having final conversations with all of his finalists, but that's a big fish out there for Auburn and Braylon Womack.
As far as the criticism that came with Hugh Freeze and this Auburn staff early in the recruiting cycle, Steve, I know that you pointed towards you've got to sell now proof on the field. Kids need to see results. Some of that had to do with Auburn's interpretation of the rules according to Auburn and some of those written offers not being able to go out until August 1st or beyond. Based on folks that you've talked to, how much of an impact did that have in the early recruiting for Hugh Freeze?
Look, I just know in the modern recruiting era, Auburn had top 10 classes the last two cycles, so I think that the Tigers are well-versed to compete in the modern recruiting era, and maybe what the Auburn staff has said to the media about adapting to the new rules and new elements of college football going into this cycle holds true, but I still think it's more about what are they going to look like on the field. And I'd be excited if I'm an Auburn fan about the potential that this team has on the field because of the way they've recruited, the way they've gone into the transfer portal and addressed key positions of need, key positions in winning ball games. And they've stocked this roster with talented football players, and now it's time to go put it together on the field and show recruits from here on out that Auburn is a program that is going to compete for SEC championships and is going to be in the college football playoff conversation year in and year out.
Steve Wiltfong joins us from Rivals and On3. We're talking a little recruiting for Alabama and Auburn. So let's talk about the Tide. Right now, Alabama, according to the Rivals rankings, at number 7 with 21 verbal commitments, 4 5-stars. What can you tell us about this Alabama class, a little bit of work that they have left to do, and in your opinion, do you think they'll be able to hold on to those 4 5-stars?
Yeah, I think that right now you're not in any kind of concern with Alabama and this class that ranks number 7 nationally right now. I think if they could, they'd go out there and flip Anthony Tank Jones, a 5-star edge rusher that chose Oregon over Alabama and Texas A&M during the summer. Maybe they'd like to add another offensive lineman, but I think they feel great about this recruiting class as it stands now. 2 4-star quarterbacks in the fold, a 5-star safety in Jaira Edwards out of Baltimore, St. Francis, Maryland, and then to beat Texas, to beat Florida State for 5-star edge rusher Xavier Griffin out of the Peach State. You know, they went out and landed some difference makers, and this was a year where they really prioritized the state. This is one year where they thought that there were a lot of prospects within the home boundary that could help them compete at the levels that they want to. So Darian Morgan, running back is Xavier Crowell. Those were 2 massive in-state recruiting wins. You know, let's not forget 5-star corner Jordan Edmonds from Sprayberry High in Georgia. Alabama putting together the best back 7 classes in the country with the way that they've kind of recruited the edge of their defense and then in the secondary.
Alabama, obviously, Steve, with the quality, the rating of each recruit now with only 21 commitments. You have other schools like Georgia there at the top with 10 more commitments at this point, but seeing some traction with Texas A&M, and I know you wrote about it, but you've got some pretty positive momentum, I would think, right now for Coach Elko and the Aggies.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, and they might be in a similar situation as Hugh Freeze and company next year, but Texas A&M one game away from making the SEC title game in year one. You figure they're going to take another step forward in year two as they bring back their quarterback, Marcel Reed, who's kind of been through it and got a taste of it last season. You expect him to take a step forward under Coach Klein and company, but they've added some real quality depth to that quarterback room with Jacob Zeno, Miles O'Neill, and so that's what pushes the room. That's what makes guys get better. So certainly with Coach Elko, he's going to instill a toughness in your program. He's going to instill accountability. You saw how competitive he was able to make a Duke program and how quickly a Texas A&M program that really needed a culture adjustment from the previous regime, how Mike Elko was able to get those guys in there to play hard for each other, believe in each other. It was a team that went into that Texas game with the chance to play for the SEC championship, and they gave the Longhorns hell. Really battled Texas there in that regular season ball game that sent Texas to the SEC title game.
Steve, I want to ask you about USC because Lincoln Riley has been a disappointment at USC. But right now, according to Rivals on 3, Southern Cal has the number 1 recruiting class with 32 verbal commitments. They got 2 5-stars, but 20 4-stars listed. Now, is this a situation for Southern Cal similar to Auburn about having to go out and actually prove it on the field? Do you think they'll be able to hold on to this impressive group of players right now if USC has another lackluster season?
Well, absolutely. They need to go out there on the field and show that they're continuing to improve. And if you look at last year, maybe their record wasn't what you wanted it to be, but they showed tremendous improvement on the defensive side of the ball. They were in a lot of those ball games, and they bring back their coaching staff. So there's some, infrastructure that is certainly now more aligned, right? And so I expect them to take another step forward. Lincoln Riley's first season, they made the Pac-12 championship game, and if Caleb Williams doesn't get hurt, maybe they're in the college football playoff that first season. Obviously, they took a step back over the last 2 campaigns, so it's a big year for Lincoln Riley and company to prove why they were brought to Southern Cal. But as far as keeping the recruits in the fold, the Trojans did a good job of investing to get these guys committed, and so they seem to have it figured out off the field. So I think, they go out there and get it done on the field, status quo with this class.
You mentioned Auburn, and still some work to do, but they could close strong and have one of those top 10, top 15 ranked classes. Who is another team that right now people aren't really noticing when it comes to national recruiting rankings that you think could make a major push and have something to say when it's all said and done?
Well, how about South Carolina, the Gamecocks? Sitting looking for another top 20 class. They got 5-star offensive lineman Darius Gray out there. They're battling LSU for him as he goes to make his commitment later in the later this month. And then they had some tough in-state recruiting wins that went against them. Samari Matthews to Texas, Tamarian Watkins to Texas A&M. They're going to continue to recruit those coveted in-state guys that committed elsewhere. If South Carolina takes another step forward this fall, that puts them in the college football playoff. They have Lenoris Sellers under center. He's a Heisman Trophy candidate. South Carolina, with how hard Shane Beamer goes on the recruiting trail, if they go out there and have a great football season, I could see them being another program that flips some guys that they lost the first time around.
That is Steve Wiltfong. You can follow his work at On3 and Rivals. Steve, I know it's a busy time. Always appreciate you carving out a couple minutes for us talking some Alabama, Auburn, and SEC recruiting. Thanks, Steve.
Thanks, guys. Have a good one.
Appreciate it. Steve Wiltfong, he joined us. All of our guests do on the Higginbotham Hotline. You deserve solutions that are built for you. Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
Well, how about our friends there at the Finnick? The Finnick right there next to Railroad Park in downtown Birmingham. Not only is it a great place for watching sports with all the video boards, the large screens, the optimum house sound, but also you want to go in, you want to hear live music, that is your place. So it's 2 great things there in one at the Finnick. You can find them there next to Railroad Park, and you got Wednesday through Friday, you're going to get the live acoustic acts. Saturday, Sunday, Monday for the football season, no music to get in the way, and you can enjoy sports with the sound turned up on the big games. They also have NFL Sunday Ticket, Red Zone, all of that good stuff. Wonderful menu that you can check out with some very tasty items that they've added just in time for the fall. It's the Finnick. They're also available there late in the afternoons. You want to enjoy happy hour, you can do that. And they're going to have their food waiting on you if you choose, and you call ahead. It's the Finnick in downtown Birmingham. Check them out, FinnickBham.com. Check out their list of acts, all of their events, and the tasty menu, and we appreciate their partnership here on Jocks.
When we come back on Three-Man Front, we're going to give you an update. There is some new information coming out about John Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma. An internet report yesterday afternoon surfaced in which his Venmo account appeared he was paying some guys that he knows and some football players for gambling. Where does that stand? We potentially could have a statement later this afternoon. That's next on Three-Man Front. What a great breakdown of the national recruiting scene. Steve Wiltfong joined us. If you missed that interview, download the Three-Man Front podcast. Earlier in the show, we got a preview of the Vanderbilt Commodores for 2025. Robbie Weinstein joined us from 247. And in hour number 1, if you missed Mike Griffith, his normal Tuesday visit, we almost got him pissed off, right?
Almost.
We almost did. We got him going.
Yep.
He did take his proverbial, it's a court-mandated shot at Alabama.
Right.
Every single Tuesday. He got that in early.
And he went to school in the state of Michigan, but he took some shots at that state.
Yeah, he doesn't like the Big Ten.
Well,
I
he's
don't
a
like
Southern
him.
guy now.
Yeah.
Well, he's always been a Southern guy. He's born in Mobile, and, of course, a property owner on the Alabama Gulf Coast.
Okay, Conrad, summarize where things stood last night with John Mateer, the quarterback at Oklahoma. If you'll just give everyone a brief update on what took place and where it stood last night as we went to bed.
Yeah, so it started off with a post from an account that we have now figured out is a fake Twitter account that had posted essentially saying, hey, there's some allegations that Oklahoma quarterback John Mateer may have been gambling on college football back in 2022 based on Venmo notifications or Venmo transactions that were seen on his account. So those screenshots started getting passed around of a couple of transactions between him and another guy 3 years ago, in which sports gambling was the caption on the Venmo transaction. So obviously people started running wild and assuming that this meant that he had been illegally placing bets on college football while he would have been a freshman at the time at Washington State. And that's essentially where we were last night. There were some other screenshots that went around of some derogatory terms that he had used on Venmo as well that people were not happy about. But really, Pat, it just came down to these allegations of him of gambling on sports and college football through Venmo. We found out the account was fake, but it looks like the actual Venmo receipts may be legitimate.
So that was last night. So earlier this morning, Sooner Scoop, who is the On3 site that covers the Oklahoma Sooners, they're reporting that they have spoken to several people inside the school and the program, and they're reporting that Mateer has been in contact with the athletic department and compliance. The school is aware of the situation, and they're handling it. Now, word is from multiple sources that Mateer is going to release a statement this afternoon addressing the accusations. Now, as of earlier this morning, according to Soonerscoop.com, Oklahoma has not heard from the NCAA. Sooner Scoop is reporting they have a feeling that OU and Mateer will both, in conjunction, release a statement as well later today. So that's where we are.
Okay. We wait for the statement. What's your guess? What does John Mateer come out and say?
I think he's going to say that obviously he had Venmo transactions and that he absolutely 100% did not gamble on football. Maybe they, friends playing video games together, or maybe they wagered on stuff like that. But there is no way, shape, or form that he is going to come out and release a statement that he gambled on
Do you
football.
think any of it addresses, Conrad, the unflattering words that were used in some of these captions?
Oh, yeah, that'll definitely be part of the statement. It will
I think that's the biggest part of it.
I think you're right. I don't think it's the gambling at all. I think it's some of the pejoratives that were used on Venmo.
No, and you'll hear him say, that was me, as a young, dumb 18-year-old just out of high school. That was something that was meant to stay between me and my friends, and I have now learned and grown from that, and I understand that that is unacceptable language, and I'll do better in the future. Something
Conrad,
along those lines.
for our listeners, without us spelling it out for him, without us saying the actual terms that he used, get creative. We have to do it on the text line all the time. Just to give an idea of the nature of these comments.
A lot of use of a word that you could also use to say that you are happy.
Okay. There it is.
A word that is used in Deck the Halls.
There you go.
Okay.
I think you're right. I think that will be the major address that he will release in a statement. I do not believe that it will have anything. I mean, I think he's going to say that he denies, just like he's told Oklahoma, that he did not gamble on any football, and that he's also going to come out and say, hey, listen, a little bit of this salty language you saw on Venmo, if that offended anybody, I apologize.
And I know this might not be popular, but if he sent I know it's against the rules, but a $25 bet on USC and UCLA, and then he bet on some Lakers games, and then he threw in a bet for the Super Bowl, it's not a repeated pattern. He throws in a little bit every now and then. I don't have a problem with him playing football this year for Oklahoma. Yeah. Now, if they were to uncover, like U.S. Integrity or somebody else were to uncover that, no, there's a lot more here. This guy's been betting on a lot of college games.
So
yeah, that's an issue.
Okay, so let me ask this question, and I don't think that he would come out and say this because I feel like it would be kind of dumb to admit this, but maybe he does. Let's say that he comes out and he goes, yeah, those Venmo transactions are correct. Me and my buddy, we made a $20 friendly wager on the USC-UCLA game in 2022. He won. I sent him $20. That was that. Is that something that the NCAA can drop the hammer on and say, well, that's illegal gambling, or does that get – okay, clean bill of health, you're good to go?
Man, if the NCAA at this point – you agree with this? The NCAA at this point, if they came out and they said, nope, we've decided that he's deemed ineligible, how quick would a lawsuit come?
That'd be pretty quick.
From the University of Oklahoma
let's just say that
camp.
The NCAA comes out and says, hey, we're going to suspend you for a game, 2 games, 3 games, whatever the case may be. Oh, yeah, now they'll be in front of a judge by sundown getting a TRO, trying to get that overturned in a heartbeat.
So even if the NCAA is well within their rights to enforce this, Oklahoma and John Mateer, they're going to be quick to the legal team because everybody else has had success. Why not?
Well, the bottom line is once again, the NCAA does not have subpoena power. So, if it's 2 buddies sitting around watching a game and they bet each other $20 on whatever, I mean, how are you going to prove that? Now, if you've got an account through betonline.ag or FanDuel or DraftKings or something else, and you can see that there's been money exchanged hands on something like that, then it's a different animal. But I don't think 2 friends sitting around betting on what's going to happen and whatever, I don't think that they're going to do anything about it.
Has anybody gone through his PayPal or his Cash App accounts?
I'm sure somebody has, and if somebody in John Mateer's camp, I'm sure that they've already done
give
that
me
as
all
well.
Give me all your stuff.
Yeah.
I'm going through all of your stuff.
Yeah. So expect a statement from Oklahoma and John Mateer this afternoon, but all indications are that he has been forthright with Oklahoma. He has been steadfast in his statement in regards to the university that he did not bet on football, so we'll see what happens there. In Tuscaloosa a little bit earlier today, Ryan Grubb, the Crimson Tide offensive coordinator, he was meeting with the media, and, of course, he backed up the report yesterday in which Ty Simpson is QB1 for the Alabama Crimson Tide. So now he is being asked if a decision has been made on the number 2 quarterback between Austin Mack and Keelan Russell. Direct quote, no, nope. We're still working through all that. Those guys will continue to rep. I think you would be pigeonholing a little bit on reps and opportunities for both of these guys to get better. So that was Ryan Grubb's statement on quarterback number 2.
Need depth. You got to make sure that you're smart about how you do it. So do you string them along a little bit? Austin Mack, he's made a lot of strides. Keelan Russell, he's the future. It's delicate. You got to keep everybody happy this day and age.
Absolutely. And I think you won't hear who the number 2 guy is till probably well after the second scrimmage, which is coming up this weekend. Let's go to the phones, 1-800-239-WJOX. Let's go to Gringo. Gringo is not here today, but I understand he's in paradise.
Yeah.
Is that where he is?
You can call it paradise. beautiful Gulf Shores. We're dodging a little bit of rainstorms here and there, but everything's looking great.
You seen any sharks?
No sharks. Have seen some dolphins, so we're hoping that's a good sign.
That is a good sign if you're seeing dolphins instead of sharks.
Absolutely. As I was telling Conrad, paying off gambling debt through Venmo, really?
Yeah, let that be a lesson to all kids that play college football. That's just not a wise thing to do. If he was doing
No, that's not a wise thing. If he was doing that, yeah. As we say in the news world, allegedly.
Yes. You need to put that in front of that every time. So what's on deck for this afternoon? You said there's some rain. Make us jealous. You're down at the beach right now. What's on tap?
Yeah.
A little seafood tonight?
Well, tonight, we're going to be inside tonight. We've ate out the last 2 nights. At the time, I'm meeting another friend from the city of Hoover who retired with me. I'm going to meet him tomorrow night. We're going to relive old times and enjoy.
Landrum has told me that he has taken care of your homestead very nicely. Everything's up to par.
I love your mattress.
He says it's really comfortable.
It sleeps great. Yes. Yep.
Your
By the
mattress
way,
isn't bad either.
now, everything's good there at the house. Harley's good.
I knew he was in great hands.
Yeah, he is. He's in great hands.
Well, Gringo, enjoy the rest of your trip down at the beach, and we look forward to you returning to your normal stoop right here at Social Taco on Tuesdays.
Well, look, tell everyone there I said hello. I miss them, and it sounds like you do have a great crowd. I don't hear Don too loud. So
well, you hadn't been listening long.
Yeah, he's literally like 10 feet away.
You could have heard the biography of Joab Thomas about 15 minutes ago.
Yeah, he and PG are holding court as we speak.
Well, you've had some good conversations today on Auburn recruiting and SEC recruiting, so keep up the great work. I'm listening from the beach.
Sounds great. Awesome. Thank you, Gringo.
Thanks,
Well, have a safe trip, and we'll see you next Tuesday.
I'll be there.
All right. Thank you, Gary. Gary giving us a call. 1-800-239-WJOX. We're live on the Taco Terrace. Come on by and see us. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. This is Three Man Front on Jocks. We're back at Social Taco. We'll be here until 2 o'clock. Stop on by and see us. Have a late lunch. Nice crowd, as always. We're here each and every Tuesday from 10 until 2. Water does not need an invitation. It can find its way into your crawl space of your home, bringing along mold, mildew, pests, wood rot. But APS has a solution. Call them today, 205-951-9717. The APS crawl space encapsulation system. It can seal out the moisture, block the pests, and they can even help reduce your energy costs. Every home is different. That's why the engineers at APS can come and give you a plan specifically for your foundation. Crawl space problems don't fix themselves. They get better when you call APS 205-951-9717. Visit their website, alabamaprofessional.com. APS, protecting Alabama homes since 1977.
Text line is open, 205-834-9450. John Mateer, a statement is expected from the Oklahoma quarterback later on today. Accusations of sports gambling, also demeaning language in some of those Venmo transactions. Thomas, text, if sports gambling is illegal, you cannot split hairs on how much. Where do you make the decision on what is okay and what is not? I don't know if he's asking that from just my personal opinion on what I said or from the NCAA. Not sure. Thomas, follow up.
Well, I think he might be about what I was saying where, well, if you're just gambling with your buddy for $20, why should that matter? And I guess the idea for the NCAA being all gambling is bad gambling, right?
Okay. Going back to Pat trying to subtly hint at the word, or maybe one of the words that John Mateer used. He said it was in the Christmas song, Deck the Halls. Someone said, so you mean the word holly. Holly was not the word, or jolly. John from Dothan. In the Alabama quarterback battle for backup, if Austin Mack isn't QB2, what are the chances he transfers? Another question, do you think he would with the ties he has going back with DeBoer. I will answer the last question about his ties with. Yeah, I think that Austin Mack would leave if he had an opportunity to go make money and go be a starter somewhere else.
But he can't leave until after the season. So even
Correct.
if he's named third-string quarterback, he's still going to be on the roster.
Yes, unless he chooses just not to participate.
Well, correct, which I think that would be a bad move, but yeah.
He's going to take the year off to train. What are the chances he transfers if he's not named QB2? Your opinion?
I would think he would leave.
I would think so as well.
But to be fair, we thought he was going to leave this spring as well.
And that's why I say, just based on the information I had in the spring, folks were very surprised that he did not leave
Yes.
after spring practice. So
This one reads, explain the chicken feathers to us listeners who have yet to experience social taco. It's pulled white meat chicken that is battered and deep fried, and they're delicious.
It's heaven in your mouth.
It's like a cross between a chicken tender and a chicken nugget. They're not uniformly shaped. Every feather has its own distinct pattern.
it's like
shape.
a snowflake.
It's like a snowflake.
Yes.
And as far as chicken nuggets go, I would put them right up there at the very top of chicken nugget type foods I've had, along with the place that's closed on Sundays. It is that good.
Bug Guy texts in, going back to most overrated college football program since 2014. Auburn came in at number 2, just behind USC at number 1. Bug Guy said, yeah, McMurphy's right. Almost all the Gus years, Auburn was preseason top 10 and fell on their face. 2014, they were 8-5. 15, 7-6. 2016 says wasn't ranked entering the season. 2017, decent. Yeah, I would say they made it to the SEC championship game. And then 2018, 8-5. How soon y'all forget? No, didn't forget. I just thought it was interesting based on that time period that you just said, those 5 seasons, and based on 2019, 2020, 21, 22, 23, and 24, that would have to be really, 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 really disappointing in that 5-year snapshot to achieve the number 2 ranking. That was my point. Thank you, Bug Guy. No, trust me, doing what we do, we have not forgotten. Because we hear it all the time. Whether it's from a bragging Alabama fan or a distraught like Don Auburn fan. Justice says, list must be 1 point for each year that have been overrated, not 1 point per place they were overranked. USC would be at the top place either way. I don't see how Alabama would be in this list at all, being top 5, top 10 every single year.
All right, so I just went back and I looked at this. So during the Nick Saban era, Alabama was preseason number 1 team. Let's see here. Only one time under Nick Saban, they were preseason ranked number 1. Isn't that crazy?
That is nuts.
Really? Only one time?
Wait, it's the wrong poll. Sorry. Correct that.
What poll were you looking at?
I was looking at a poll that's no longer in service for obvious reasons.
Yeah, obviously. So.
Well, the UPI for a long time they were still doing polls, even though United Press International was no longer a thing. It was used to be AP in the UPI, and then the coaches poll took over for the UPI. So Alabama in 2022, they were ranked preseason number 1, and they finished 5th in America. In 2021, Alabama was preseason number 1. They finished number 2. In 2018, preseason number 1, finished number 2. 2017, preseason number 1, finished 1. 2016, Alabama, preseason number 1, finished number 2. In 2013, this was the bad one. 2013, they were preseason number 1. They were predicted to win their 3rd consecutive national championship. They finished 7th. Then in 2010, Greg McElroy starting quarterback for Alabama after the national championship season. They were preseason number 1, and they finished 10th.
10-3, right?
Yep.
Pete
So
Solari.
6 number 1 rankings in the preseason.
Yep.
You got to watch out for the memo line on Venmo. When Jerry Springer was mayor of Cincinnati running for governor of Ohio, he was forced to withdraw from the race because it was found that he had hired a woman of negotiable virtue. He was caught because he paid her with a check. Yikes. Memo lines. We got an hour left. The jam-packed, always anticipated 4th hour, 3-man front live from Social Taco in Homewood comes your way next.